The next morning, Mordred woke up a bit late and found G wasn't beside her. She discovered a note from him, stating that he had gone to buy supplies for their journey to Fuyuki City. Mordred realized they only had 2 days left before the Holy Grail War began, so she knew they couldn't afford to waste any time. Determined, she started her training, pushing herself to achieve the speed of light using her mana burst. As she trained, G returned and witnessed Mordred's intense training session.
Are you trying to reach the speed of light?
Yeah, it seemed impossible, but I'm getting close. Still, I'm not fast enough.
If you were to move at the speed of light, you wouldn't be able to see anything, darling. Light needs time to reach your eyes, so if you move at that speed, it would be as if everything is darkness, and also the force of the speed of light would destroy everything near you. And also destroying yourself.
I see.
It's not that you can't achieve it. Your body is cautioning you because it knows it could be dangerous. As a trained warrior, your body senses potential threats and instinctively steers you away from harm.
So, in essence, I may never achieve it, even if I push my abilities to the limit?
I can't say for sure, but our bodies are designed that way. If you have a fever, it's your body's way of fighting off bacteria. In the same way, what you're trying to achieve is considered dangerous, so your body restrains you from pursuing it.
Well, I suppose I'm already satisfied. Over these past few days, I've learned so much from you, honey. I feel a significant improvement in myself.
Mordred smiled, feeling content with her progress.
Honey, don't you want to go back to the city? I want to have an official date with you.
Darling, of course, go ahead and take a shower. I'll be waiting for you in the living room.
After getting ready, Mordred was filled with excitement as she clung to G's arm. They got into the car, and G drove them back to the town, returning to the market they had visited before. This time, the place wasn't as crowded, and Mordred became clingy and slightly spoiled.
Honey, look. The crepes I had last time. Let's order the same one, but only one, and we can share it.
Are you sure you want to share your food? It might not be enough to fill you up.
Hey, I've seen couples sharing drinks before. Why not share food too?
Mordred pouted playfully.
I know, darling, let's order one.
G ordered the apple crepes with cream filling, and Mordred patiently waited for their order. When the crepes were handed to G, Mordred blushed and took a bite together with him.
Do you like it?
I love it.
They enjoyed eating the crepes together as they walked around the market, feeling the gentle sea breeze against their skin. Mordred's gaze wandered towards an accessory store, as if something caught her eye.
Is there something you like in that store, darling?
No, not really. I'm just looking around, nothing really interests me.
G looked at Mordred, aware that she was trying to be dishonest, but her expression gave her away.
Alright, let's go to the accessory store.
Oi, honey.
Is there something you really want from this accessory shop? A ring, perhaps? Or maybe an earring?
Mordred looked around the store, her eyes scanning the various items. There were so many things to see, and she felt a bit overwhelmed, unsure of what she truly wanted.
There are so many things, honey. I can't decide.
G took the initiative and looked around the store, searching for something that he thought Mordred might like. He found a beautiful pendant necklace and purchased it at the counter. Mordred, still engrossed in looking around, was unaware of what G had done. G approached her with a smile, catching her off guard.
Yes, honey?
Turn around.
Huh? What? Do you want to bend me over in the public area?
Just turn around, you pervert.
Mordred raised an eyebrow but complied, and Mordred turned around, facing a mirror that she hadn't noticed before. As she looked at their reflection, she was taken aback when G gently wrapped a pendant necklace around her neck. She stood there in stunned silence, witnessing the surprise through the mirror. The pendant was in the shape of a gold heart.
Honey, this is so beautiful.
It's for you, darling. This pendant.
Mordred turned around and hugged G tightly, her arms wrapped around his neck, pulling him closer.
Thank you, honey. This is the first gift someone has ever given me. I will treasure it with my life. This is my promise as a Knight of the Round Table. Thank you.
Mordred leaned in even closer and kissed G on the cheek. G blushed, feeling a mix of embarrassment and joy as Mordred displayed her affection in a public area.
Darling. Oh, I have something else to show you. Come with me.
G took Mordred's hand and led her somewhere, running for a short while until they reached a photo booth.
A photo booth? Ah, I see, honey. You and the previous Mordred were also in this booth taking pictures, right? The photo inside your wallet?
Yes, darling.
Let's go inside, honey.
G inserted a few coins, and the photo booth captured their playful poses, freezing their joyous moments in time. Mordred, feeling mischievous, surprised G with a sudden kiss on the lips, leaving him momentarily stunned by her boldness.
That's not fair, surprising me with a kiss like that.
Hee hee. Well, what can I say? I am Mordred Pendragon, the master of surprise attacks. Even my father didn't see me coming.
As the photo finished developing, Mordred eagerly examined the result, blushing at the image of their surprise kiss. She couldn't help but grin like a love-struck fool. G took the smaller photo and carefully cut it into a heart shape using a pocket knife.
Darling, come closer for a moment.
Mordred approached, curiosity twinkling in her eyes. G opened the locket pendant hanging from Mordred's neck, revealing its secret compartment. He placed their photo together inside the locket, sealing it shut before returning it to Mordred. Overwhelmed with emotion, Mordred's eyes welled up with tears as she tightly embraced G, resting her head against his chest.
Why? Why am I so happy? How can I cry when I'm happy? I should be grateful instead of crying. Thank you, honey. Thank you.
You're welcome, darling. I love you.
I love you too.
In the cozy confines of the photo booth, Mordred and G held each other tightly, their hearts brimming with affection. After their embrace, Mordred's jubilant spirit soared as she explored the surrounding carnival-like game station at the seaside market, taking in the various entertainment offerings with glee. They spent the day playing numerous games together, from bumper cars to baseball with a pitching machine, and even ring toss. Mordred's competitive spirit prevailed as she emerged victorious in most of the games, her laughter and radiant smile brightening the surroundings. As a prize, Mordred won a large teddy bear, but she selflessly gave it to a girl who had been eyeing it longingly. Mordred's joy knew no bounds, and her happiness was evident in her constant smiles and grins. They concluded their day of fun by riding the Ferris wheel, ascending almost to its peak. From there, Mordred marveled at the breathtaking view of the sea on one side and the town on the other. The refreshing sea breeze caressed their faces, and Mordred couldn't help but feel as if she were in heaven.
Honey, look, we're at the top. It's so beautiful. The sea on the right, the town on the left. Is this heaven?
No, darling. This is just a Ferris wheel.
Oh, come on. Can't you indulge me in my happiness? But still, this has been the happiest day of my entire life. I don't think it could get any more perfect than this.
Who knows, darling? Besides, tomorrow we'll be heading to Fuyuki City, a 6-hour drive from here.
Honey, promise me that after this Holy Grail war, you'll marry me.
Are you sure you want me as your husband?
Hell yeah, I do.
Well, if I'm still alive, then why not?
Promise?
Promise.
When the Ferris wheel reached its highest point, G and Mordred made a pinky promise, sealing their commitment. Filled with excitement, Mordred pulled G closer and passionately kissed him, closing her eyes and wrapping her hand around his neck. Reluctant to let go, she savored the moment with all her heart. After a while, she released the kiss and smiled at G.
That's my proposal, and you have to accept it. I won't take no for an answer.
I know, darling.
Mordred spent her days clinging to her lover's arm, cherishing every moment. All she knew was that she wanted to spend the rest of her days with him, to be by his side forever, and to love him more with each passing day. Her love for him continued to grow, deepening with every beat of her heart. They went home and finally arrived at their cozy home nestled on the hillside. Mordred wasted no time and headed straight to the bathroom for a refreshing shower, playfully teasing G along the way. With a warm smile, G busied himself by placing the items they had bought earlier onto the shelf. After Mordred emerged from the shower, G took their turn, preparing for a restful night ahead. Mordred lovingly made the bed, ensuring everything was in order. As they settled into bed, Mordred couldn't help but gaze at G, their desire to prolong the night evident in their eyes.
What's on your mind, darling?
Nothing specific, honey. I simply can't get enough of looking at your radiant face. Is that such a crime? If it is, then I must be guilty in every state.
You're not ready to sleep just yet, are you?
Hee, guilty as charged.
Well then, what do you have in mind? I'm all ears.
Instead of saying it in words, Mordred leans in and kisses G on the lips. The intensity between them grows, and they passionately explore each other's bodies. Mordred's arousal is uncontrollable. The scene becomes more intimate as they express their deep desire and love for each other, cherishing the intimate connection they share. The intensity of their connection grows, surrendering to their shared longing and affection. She wraps her legs around her lover's waist, guided by their shared desire and growing arousal, but there is also some fear in her as G is inside her and blood is dripping down there. She tries to push through and ignore the pain. They reach the peak of their passion together, finding fulfillment in the culmination of their intimate union. Mordred lets her beloved be on top of her and allowing their bodies to intertwine in love and pleasure. They express their deepest desires and reach new heights of intimacy, their unity bringing them both to the pinnacle of ecstasy. With each moment, Mordred's moans of delight echo in the air, entrusting themselves completely to their lover's touch. The intensity becomes unbearable for her. Mordred bites G's shoulder and licks the bloody wounds she makes. As their encounter reaches its climax, her beloved couldn't help but to relieve inside her as she follow up soon after. Finally, as their bodies find respite in exhaustion, Mordred embraces her beloved, cherishing the intimate bond they've shared.
Ghana.
Mordred, did you just?
Your name, your initial. Now I remember most of the things. It's as if I've inherited the memories of the previous Mordred from your original singularity. Now I understand why she fell so deeply in love with you, why she was so fiercely protective of you. It was my first time experiencing something like this, especially with the person I love so dearly. I can now comprehend her feelings because they are what I feel in this moment, pure bliss and happiness.
Darling.
I remember your name.
Ghana quickly hugs Mordred. He is extremely happy that Mordred is able to remember him despite she is not the Mordred from his original world.
Honey, I'm glad I was the one for you, and you are the one for me. I'm grateful for all of it, and I cherish these emotions. I love you.
Mordred leaned in and kissed Ghana on the lips once again, pulling him into a warm embrace. She finally understands that the spark of love she felt is coming from her own heart, but it's also fueled by the connection with the previous Mordred from a different singularity. After an intense and intimate moment, Mordred and Ghana drifted off to sleep together. Mordred still clung to Ghana, unwilling to let him go even for a moment. It was a feeling she had never experienced before, a feeling she finally understood, and she was overjoyed to have it.